When we saw it sa Cinema Manila, one of the poets was there.
Sunny Villafania. Yes. So a lot of the writers also made a lot of input in the film, because I've used their poetry, their unlong or poetry to film.
Can you tell us a little why you chose
to work with them?
With this particular subject in mind, the poetry and stuff.
Initially when I was conceiving this project, early part of 2008, I wanted to do something that will promote the works of the younger generation of poets in Pangasinan, because most of their works, they write a lot of poems, essays, short stories in the native language, but they don't have a chance to have their works published. We don't have any support from the government, from the local government in Pangasinan, and even in the national government, specifically art culture agencies like the National Commission for Culture in the Arts, to publish their works. So I was thinking, what can I do as a filmmaker to help them to make their poems, their Pangasinan language poems, made known to the people in Pangasinan, the young people, and also outside of Pangasinan. So that became my motivation in making this project. Because I think they really need help, to make their works known to a bigger audience. So this was my way of helping them, and they openly collaborated with me, and I think our collaboration was successful because of this.
In both of your films, of the short film and this one, there's a certain theme of displacement or lack of identity. Can you explain that further, especially knowing that you work abroad and you only visit the Philippines once a month?
Once a year.
A month every year. Has that situation developed into your films, or is it just a circumstance that doesn't really matter?
I think it was the idea of displacement you've mentioned is how to say it? It's intentionally.
Oh, is it intentional?
Yeah. Especially in this first film, the short film, I'm really conscious of this concept of displacement. As a artist, came from the Philippines, then suddenly I'm uprooted from my roots, from my family, all my networks and resources. It's really how to say it? It's a very painful experience. So somehow the first film reflected that kind of existential condition I was feeling, being away from home. And the second film also somehow, with the second film, Anacbanua, I'm also conscious with that. Being displaced from home, and you are in this, you're in a certain spiritual crisis, like you are very sick and you have to go home to heal. So that's Anacbanua, essentially. Regeneration, reclaiming. Also, it's not just being, in Pangasinan, a lot of, this is within our culture as Pangasinenses. When we leave our homeland, we cut off our identity. I'm talking to one visual artist from Pangasinan, Ms. Leong Goren, last week in her gallery, and she made a similar observation that many Pangasinenses, when they leave the homeland, they disown their own ethno-linguistic identity, and they openly embrace the new culture of their new environment, to the point of not speaking their native tongue, not teaching their children how to speak the native tongue. We have that kind of tendency and it's not good. And to counter this, we agree that this stems from lack of self-pride, pride of our identities as Pangasinan, our cultures as Pangasinenses. So one way to fix this problem is, instill of self-pride by, creating more artworks, literary works that, advocates and promotes pride in our cultures as Pangasinenses. So ito yung mga ginagawa naming poetry films somehow will fix that, help fix that problem.